Hi, good afternoon. This is Meredith Lego, and I'm doing a series of channeled teachings on Ascension science. Much of my content does come from a telepathic interface with an ascended master named Hilarion, who's been able to evolve past the need to reincarnate. And I've been able to connect with him through quantum entanglement and essentially download or telepathically connect with him on certain lessons regarding answers to questions that I ask him. However, he did want to work with me to sort of follow a lesson plan, if you will, and have me relay some of that information to others to help with their consciousness evolution. So if you're new to this channel, I highly encourage that you go to the very start of all the videos that I've done. So they would have started, let's say, in let's say the December 2021 time period. But I encourage you to go to the very start. Much of the content that I've channeled from him, I actually did start channeling in 2019. I actually connected with him much earlier than that, but moved it to a relationship of being able to take the content and write it down. And I'm now at the point of being able to share it with YouTube. If you are interested, however, I did publish a book of some of the content that I've gotten from him, I would say in early 2021. And it is available on Amazon. And I've actually got a video on that book and the book title. So I encourage you to find that video and order it if you're interested. So the last couple videos have started to set up the whole concept of frequency, vibrations, how dimensions and densities are classified as different levels of frequency vibrations. And I'm doing some of this stuff to then set up Hilarion's teaching to me on the whole concept of stages of ascension that we go through. As another point I wanted to share, this is not necessarily something that he channeled to me, but I think it's also helpful to ground understanding of different frequencies, is the concept of different wave or brain patterns that we have, because they very much do play or interact with frequencies. So in the last video, I encourage you to watch, it does talk about the concept of densities and dimensions and the difference between them. And what we learned is that essentially dimensions are different gradients of vibrational frequency of consciousness, and densities are various gradations of vibrational frequency of matter, or physical matter. And they can essentially be measured in hertz. And I showed a quick graphic of sort of how that measurement happens through the time gaps on, let's say, usually frequency is measured, let's say, in hertz or sine waves, and essentially you could see how that plays out. But when it comes to wave patterns, that actually can reflect different vibrational frequencies that you might have as well. And let's say how your whole body, your whole physical and emotional, and let's say etheric body will be vibrating as well. And it can show up in what we kind of know as the delta, theta, alpha, beta, and gamma brain frequencies. And so again, this is not content that I got from him, but it's just kind of basic science. I encourage you to do your own research on it, but I did want to set it up. So essentially the delta brainwave frequency, if you will, is the frequency that's associated with sleep. So anytime you're sleeping, you're in the delta state. And it's usually, call it between, I think it's the lowest frequency, but it's essentially between 0.2 hertz to 3 hertz, somewhere in there. Then we kind of move up the spectrum essentially to the theta brainwave frequency. And that is from, call it 3 to 8. And I'm sure the ranges are a little bit broader, but I'm looking at a particular, website just to help relay this to you. And that's kind of the range that they're giving. Then we move up to alpha, which is more of a relaxed state, between, let's say, 8 to 12 hertz. And then we move up to the beta brainwave state, which is alert and focused. So when you're awake, you are in beta state, and that's going to be kind of 12 to 24-ish range. And then gamma is the highest state, and that is high performance. Basically, 27 and up, although oftentimes it is, associated with kind of 40 to 100 hertz and up. And usually what we find is that there's been a very strong linkage between meditation and gamma waves in the brain. And there is a link attributed, so I'm kind of reading from a site right now, but there's a link attributed to the heightened state of a being or completeness experienced when in a meditative state, and usually that is in a gamma frequency. So again, I talked about the fact that essentially we are, when we're moving through evolution, we're going to be increasing the vibrational frequency of both our density and our dimension. So both things start to happen over time. And we just happen as a species on Earth, or Gaia is another name, our entire kind of location of our solar system within the galaxy or the Milky Way happens to be moving into, or has moved into, a particular placement, and it kind of rotates through every 26,000 years. So we're going to actually get 2 cycles of it on one side as well as the other side. So about, call it every 11 to kind of 12,000 years, we start to get hit in an area of higher photonic energy that is at a higher frequency, more synonymous with like the gamma radiation or gamma frequency waves. And so that in of itself is going to have an effect on us as human beings. And that actually helps spur evolution of consciousness, because through resonance entrainment, your body, all of your bodies, your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, is going to start actually vibrating at that higher frequency itself through a process called the resonance entrainment effect. So that being said, I just wanted to set up those, I think, 5 different brave length states. Now, as an aside, usually when I'm meditating, yes, I am sort of experiencing a gamma state, but also I do tend to pick up a lot of interesting content, let's say from behind the veil, is sometimes how I like to call it, when I'm in the theta state as well. So that is in a meditative state, and your guards are sort of down, and you're an open channel, if you will, and you're able to tune in your frequencies, if you will, to different frequencies that are out there. And so let's say if we kind of look at this graph that I had showed in the last video, you've got different energies that are vibrating at different vibrational frequencies. And they may look very similar to, let's say, radio waves or TV waves that are out there. So sometimes if your brainwave pattern happens to be entrained or tuned in, and you're very relaxed, for me it usually is in a theta state, you have the ability to sort of tune into different vibrational frequencies. So it kind of depends upon where you are. When I first started to go down this path of starting to change the vibrational frequency of, in general, sometimes I would actually be kind of meditating in the morning, and it usually happens for me in the morning, but I would actually start to hear or tune into radio frequencies, almost like being a receiver. And that's essentially what we are. We're sort of energy, and we can receive and we can send. But I have in the past, at least on like 4 or 5 different occasions, been meditating and actually started to hear different radio frequencies. One time I picked up a Mexican station, which was kind of interesting. But yeah, so we actually have very interesting technology built into our body, and we're very powerful beings and co-creator beings. And so, it's great to figure out how to leverage the technology that you have within the body that you have, or the multiple bodies that you have. But anyway, hope this helps you kind of understand better about these vibrational frequencies, because they're going to start to, if you have that kind of grounded understanding in addition to densities and dimensions, it'll help you start to understand things around the stages of ascension. So hope that helps. And if you like the content or resonate with the content, encourage you to sign up for notifications if you haven't already, and definitely subscribe to the channel. Thanks very much. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.